Now, you aren't going to be able to remove people's listings from your brand until it's a registered trademark inside of USPTO. But as long as you have the serial number from your application and you're in progress, Amazon's going to allow you to actually add it so you can start to list your products underneath that brand name. And at the very least, you'll be able to start making a brand store so you can place all your products together and start to go after that customer experience that you're going to want to offer people as they search for your brand, even before you have your trademark done. The main point here is start the trademark process as soon as you possibly can, because it is going to take you a long time. All right, next up on the list. Now, Amazon gives us a great tool called Brand Registry to take your trademark brands and help you to protect them from other people being able to list on top of you or sell your brand if they're not authorized to actually sell it. But to start that, you've got to be registered with Amazon. And so we're talking about Brand Registry and what you need to know to get set up as quickly as possible. Now, there's a ton of resources out on YouTube for this, and I don't want to regurgitate information to you that you can find elsewhere. I just want to tell you what I think you need to know. And when it comes to Brand Registry, you can get hung up if you don't do things in the right order. And I don't want to see you slow down, so I'm going to very quickly cover the exact process of steps that you should do in the right order so that you know how to set up Brand Registry as fast as possible. Number one, you cannot set up Brand Registry unless you have a gs1.org account. Remember, this is where you make your UPCs, the barcodes that go onto your products. Only use gs1.org, and I'll say it again for people in the back. Only use gs1.org. Don't get your barcodes anywhere else. Oh, and by the way, when you set up gs1.org, make sure that you use the same name for this account that you use for your Amazon store. You're just going to get yourself hung up. So if you're making an account that's Steve Roll Incorporated on GS1, your Amazon account better also be Steve Roll Incorporated. If the two don't match, seller support's going to give you a run for your money, and you don't want to deal with that. So make sure that you use the same name for both ownerships on both accounts. Number two, you are going to need some type of physical prototype. Now, if you already have a product, fantastic. But if you don't have that, you need a prototype that has a GS1 barcode already on it. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to register your brand on Amazon. They're going to want to see a UPC that they can validate is owned by the brand. All right, next is number three. Number three, you are going to create a listing. When you go to create your listing and you use your brand name on the listing, it's going to automatically trigger Amazon to validate that you are allowed to sell that brand. This is not the Wild West days anymore. Everybody has to apply to sell the brand, whether or not it's the brand that you own or not. And by the way, I actually kind of love that. It makes it a lot easier for brand owners to protect what they've built if everybody has to get ungated in the first place. It's not going to stop the bad actors who are going to make up invoices and give those to Amazon, but it'll keep honest people from doing the wrong thing. Now, since you own this brand, it's simple for you. All you have to do when you create the listing and apply to sell it is take pictures of your actual product, hence why you need to have a prototype before you create the listing. And they're going to want to make sure that you have a UPC on the product that's inside one of the pictures so that they can validate with GS1 that, yep, everything all makes sense here. The approval process for this is only going to take 24 hours, no more than that. So it's very, very quick. But you're going to have to sit there and wait around. So it is a process to start making the listing. You apply for being able to actually sell the brand, and then you get approved by Amazon to do it. Then you can complete your listing once you've gone through that first verification. Now, after you've made your listing, and only after you've made your listing, would you then go to Brand Registry and create your Brand Registry account. The reason you don't want to start on Brand Registry is that a part of the Brand Registry process is going to be them asking you for at least one ASIN of a product that's on Amazon that's of your brand name. So for those of you who are starting off and you are making the first product for this brand, it's not going to exist until you actually make the listing first. So don't try to get here and then realize you have to go all the way back to the top. Do this in the right order. Okay, so what do you need in order to register? All right, you are registering your brand as a manufacturer. So the requirements you need is a lot different than what you would register with if you were just a vendor of the brand. You're registering your brand as a manufacturer on this round, not as a vendor. So you only need 3 things in order to get your brand registered on Brand Registry. Number 1, you need to prove to them that you actually are going to own the brand that you're applying for. So to do this, you go to USPTO, you'll search for your trademark name once you've applied for it, download that application filing form, and you'll submit that to Amazon. This is the filing form. Number 2, you need to know the ASIN for the listing that you just created. And number 3, you need to have an invoice from your manufacturer or from your supply chain if you're actually making this stuff yourself. Show Amazon that you're actually doing manufacturing activities because you're telling them, I'm a manufacturer now. Oh, and by the way, pro tip on this invoice. Anytime I send invoices into Amazon for anything, I'm going to redact the pricing information from that. I don't want Amazon to know what my prices are. I don't want them coming after the categories that I'm in. And they allow you to do that. So on your invoice, if it says $34.99 for each item that you're purchasing, Amazon allows you to redact it. Redacting looks just like this. That's what a redaction is. And you can do that in Adobe for your PDFs, very simply by highlighting it, and it redacts it. You can send that into Amazon just like that, and they're still going to accept it.